So everyone, and welcome back to another Let's Talk Idle. This time a review of Midas Gold Plus. So this is a game that I've been playing for many months at this point, so everything you're going to be seeing in here is from a fairly far perspective into the game. So this game is one of those games that tries really hard to have like a ton of content and then spread that content out over a very long period of time. So I've played this game, like I said, for multiple months, and even so, I still have quite a bit to unlock. So this game, it starts out, you just have a bunch of buildings that produce money over time, and you can level up that building so it produces more money. You unlock more buildings, you build those buildings, and then you upgrade those buildings as well. And that's probably how you're gonna spend like your first week, just getting some buildings, upgrading them, no problem. You can get some upgrades for them as well that increase like just their profits. They do for the most part, upgrades don't really do that much. They just make your stuff better, which is alright. You also then see that when you start the game, you have a champion. You have these two, I think, at the start. Basically what a champion does is a champion basically dictates what your play style is going to be, but really it's just the skills you have active to. Your play style usually doesn't change that much. Like you have, for example, these three specializations: the mana mode, the rage mode, and then later on you get one that's called the energy mode. Energy plays itself, rage plays itself, and mana mode doesn't play itself, even though it's supposedly the idle upgrade, the idle like path, which is really weird because it's the only path that doesn't play itself. Anyway, basically these skills just make your stuff better for a few seconds. So in the mana mode, what you have is you just build up mana over time, and then you can spend that mana to activate a skill. In rage mode, you have to click the thing in the middle. But I say it plays itself because I'm gonna get to that later anyway. But for every click on the stuff here in the middle, which also gives you money, you get rage, and then you can spend that rage to activate abilities similar to mana, just that it's more of a toggle thing rather than a one-time activation. And then energy, it just creates combo points over time by using a specific skill, and then there's like 3 finishers that you can use up your combo points for. But that also plays itself, and I'm gonna get a little bit more into that later. There's a lot of stuff that just gradually happens over time. Like when you start out the game, you should go with mana mode because rage mode. Do you really want to sit here and click that thing 10 times a second for like multiple hours? I don't think so. At least at the start of the game, this mana mode is fairly idle. So that's good at least. So what else do we have? So when you've played the game for a little bit, you've gotten some upgrades, you've gotten some buildings. At some point, this glory thing here will light up, and it's gonna tell you, hey, the longer you play the game, the more of these blessed diamonds you get. And this is basically your reset mechanic, and when you click here and do temple offer, it resets your stuff back to the start. Pretty much every idle game has something like this. How it works in here is you get sort of like a credit, which is that's the diamonds over here, and then when you reset, you get that credit onto your account. And this is your account in diamonds up here, which boosts your everything, depending on how many diamonds you have. There's a bit more surrounding that, but I'm gonna get to that once again a little bit later. But the thing is, so you just get some buildings, you reset a bunch, you get better production, and then you play the entire game again. And something you'll see is that there's a lot of buttons all over the screen. Well, first off, you have something, like this is a button right here that you're also gonna have access to right at the start of the game, I think, which is the raid. Do we have it started at the start of the game? At least very early on into the game. The raids menu is pretty much, you just click a button which just says like raid this area for 10 hours. And at the start of the game you can only raid like one area, and then you have to like get more raid points, which you'd get from just raiding a bunch. And then the more raid points you have, you get a higher rank, and if you have a higher rank you can send multiple raids at once, and right now I'm at the time where I can send all 5 raids at once, which is pretty good. Raid points also give you more profit. A lot of stuff in this game does something but also gives you a ton of profit, and then there's also a bunch of stuff that also just gives you profit. But pretty much everything in this game like sort of makes sure you get more and more profit. Like that's the whole reason why anything in this game exists. Okay, what else do we have? We also have some goals, which are basically achievements. if you get some achievements, you get bonuses. Whoop-de-doo. Nothing too special here. You don't ever need to click on that thing ever in your entire life, and you won't miss anything. We also have statistics, a button that I've clicked maybe like 5 times in my entire runtime. I don't know. Total raids. Oh my god, I've done 1,100 raids. Jesus. That's incredible. I would like to see something, how many resets I've done, but it doesn't tell me how many resets I've done. Anyway, you also have something over here, which is the artifacts, but before going to that, you also have settings. Doesn't really do too much, just settings, eh? But you have these artifacts in here, and this is one way where the diamonds do something very special. So diamonds, you don't just hold them for more profits, you can spend diamonds to get artifacts. You can spend them on other stuff as well, but you can spend them at the start of the game. You'll mostly spend them on artifacts. And something very important to note when it comes to spending your diamonds, whatever you spend it on, artifacts or the other stuff that I'm going to show you later, whatever it is you spend your diamonds on, those diamonds that you spend, they're not lost. They just get put onto your credits. So let's say for right now I have 7, what is this? Quadrivigintillion diamonds, and let's say I buy something that costs 5 quadrivigintillion diamonds. Those aren't lost. They would then instead be put on top of these diamonds over here, and then I would have 10 quadrivigintillion less diamonds. And then next time I reset, I get them back. So you always get those diamonds that you spend back. This is a very important thing to say, because there's a ton of stuff in here. For example, there's something right over here that costs like, where is it, 3 quadrivigintillion diamonds. It would be really weird if those were like completely gone, because that would throw me back, like, not actually that much, but still it would be really weird to spend like progress on something. So you don't have to worry about that, you get them back. However, artifacts is something that you're gonna have to deal with in maybe like the first few weeks of the game, I'd say. Or maybe like the first 2 weeks, 1 week. I don't know how fast you play, like if you have this game open the entire time, or if you only like check in every now and then throughout the day, I don't know. This is a game that, especially at the start, you're gonna have to play very actively, and the longer you play the game, the less active you can become and not lose out on too much. Anyway, so artifacts do like basic improvements that are, at some point after you get them, you're like, oh yeah, it's just some basic stuff. I mean, I couldn't play without this. At the start of the game, you're forced to play without them. For example, you have the Glove of Zeus, and this is why I say the Rage mode plays itself. This is a thing that you can just press. You can just press a button, and then while the button is toggled on, there's like this Glove of Zeus that just presses, or like clicks on the stone in the middle like 20 times a second for you. So you don't have to click at all. You can just go AFK and the mode completely plays itself. Nice. You also have this thing for the mana and energy mode, which allows you to put stuff on auto cast. In this case, oh, when mana gets full, cast these 2 abilities. Yay! You have to upgrade these so you can get multiple abilities on at the same time. Then you also have stuff, oh, makes raids faster, gives you more maximum mana, makes it so when you're offline you still generate a ton of profit, makes it every time you log in you get a 12-hour buff that you can refresh at any time if you want to by going back online again. That gives you a bunch of bonus. I mean, this right here is just an incentive to come online at least every 12 hours. But you still don't have to. You can go more AFK than that, doesn't matter. Or faster research, like really basic stuff. And then after, like I said, like a week or something, or like 2 weeks, you've got all of these maxed, and then it doesn't matter anymore. Like so far, if I said that I've played this game multiple months and I maxed all these skills after a week, that tells you how relevant these are gonna be after just a short amount of time. Anyway, after that, what's gonna happen is you're gonna unlock more champions. Actually, you unlock more champions even before you max these artifacts. But the thing is, the more diamonds you get, the more champions you unlock. For example, right now, in order to unlock this guy, I need to have 15 trigintillion diamonds, and like it says right there, you don't lose the diamonds, you just have to have them, and then it's unlocked. And you start off with just 2, and then you can unlock them gradually. And the thing is, after these first 2, every one that you unlock will be the best champion. So the newest champion will always be the best one. So there's really not any choice. you always want to play with the newest champion, because as you can see, like, it gives you like profits, building profits, crit chance and stuff like that, and those profits, they ramp up so much, as you can see right here, that you really always want to play on the newest one. Which means that you are basically forced to play all of the specializations, but like I said, since most of them play themselves and mana mode mostly plays itself, you don't actually have to worry too much about what your current playstyle is gonna be. It might just feel a little bit different when you look at how you get money or stuff, or how you spend money, I don't know. Okay, what else do we have? There's so much stuff on this screen. We also have something that you're gonna unlock fairly early in the game, the University, which gives you access to research. There's two types of research. It's the knowledge research, which you research spending a resource called knowledge, and knowledge you just gain randomly when a building's crit, because buildings have a critical chance. And when the bar here goes red, that means, oh, this next time this building is generating money, it's gonna be a critical hit. And then when it's blue, it's gonna be, okay, this is not a critical hit. So by getting critical hits, or by clicking the finger bunch, and you can also get like critical hits on the rock. If you get a critical hit on the rock, you also get knowledge. And you can spend that knowledge for these upgrades over here, which make your buildings better, make your mana mode better, or your rage mode better. And then you can also spend diamonds and money, but don't worry, like I said, you get the diamonds back later on to do these research into your basic modifiers for all the profits, knowledge, diamond value, blah blah blah, all that stuff. Basic modifiers. Then something you're gonna see that pops up on your screen all the time is gonna be these blue shards. You can click them to collect them, because for some reason at some point someone decided that idle games needed stuff that pops up on your screen that you need to either hover over or click on to do stuff, so you can't go completely AFK, which I personally am an opponent of. I think it's a stupid way to force people to be active, but whatever, it works, so whatever. And these blue shards at the start, they're called bloom stones, I think. You can go in here to this exotic merchant, which I think you have to unlock as well. I'm not sure. After so much time I've spent on this game, I don't even know what unlocks at which point. Like, there's a ton of stuff that unlocks by having specific champions. Having this champion unlocks something, having this champion unlocks something. And after playing this game so much, I don't even know what unlocks which, whatever. So you have these exotic merchants, and you can spend your blue stones on permanent multipliers, on perks, or this one perk over here, or you can upgrade your skills. But also after like 2 or 3 weeks, maybe even a bit longer than that, of playing the game, you will also have maxed all of these. And by the way, the blue stones, they just appear after every few minutes. There's nothing you can do to get them faster. And so yeah, after a while you're also gonna have all of these maxed. If you have them maxed, you can trade raid loots for other raid loots. What are raid loots? We're gonna get to them in a second. And when you've unlocked everything, you'll also unlock... Actually no, you don't unlock the marketplace with the raid loots. From unlocking everything here, you unlock that via a champion. Whatever. You unlock the stone transform instead. And with that you can transform 5 blue stones for these gems. Now what are gems? Gems are the real money thing that you can buy for real money, yay. But the cool part about this game is that the stuff that you can buy is really mostly just there to get you through the first few weeks. Like, the first few weeks can be really slow. There's a lot of stuff that you need to buy, and you might not quite have the resources for them. You need to wait for the blue stones in order to get them and unlock all the stuff on the exotic merchant, which can also be bought with the red gems, by the way. And in order to speed that up, you can go, okay, I'm gonna buy some of these red gems. Speeds it up, gets me past the initial parts very nicely. But the later on you get in the game, the less important they become, because all the stuff that you can buy from them is going to become less important and it's going to have less of an impact. For example, later on what you're going to spend your red gems on is modifiers in here, these epic upgrades. They're pretty much just a profit modifier. Like I said, pretty much everything in this game is just a modifier for your profits and maybe knowledge as well. So yeah, you can buy these modifiers for gems. This is what you would spend your gems on, maybe. There's other stuff with void crystals, doesn't matter, comes in later. There's stuff like raid loots, doesn't matter, comes in a bit later. And yeah, all that stuff that you can buy with that becomes less important. And because you generate gems by transforming stones anyway, just by playing the game normally. You have access to all of that stuff anyway. So if you're like, okay, I don't mind sitting through a very slow and rather sluggish early game for maybe even a few weeks, then you don't have to pay anything. But if you're like, okay, I don't want to sit through that, just put some money down and make it go faster. So that's the whole stuff with the blue stones and the red gems. Now, I've said this about the raid loot. So when your guys come home from, well, guys, it don't even know what they are. You just press a button and stuff happens. Anyway, so when a raid is finished, you get raid loots. You always get one specific type of raid loot from depending on where you send them. So you can see over here what what standard loot you're gonna get. But on top of that, you're also gonna get some random other loot, and you'll also get raid points. Now, the raid loot are once again like sort of skills, I would call them. They're like bonus skills that you can activate together with your other skills, and these skills are incredibly powerful. And at the very start of this game, you're not gonna have any raid loots. You're gonna get very, very few raid loots. Like in a very sluggish raid, you can't really do anything with them. But if you get a few of them, you can activate them, and they're gonna be a giant help to make stuff go a lot faster. But in the very late game, you're gonna have so many of these that you can just spam the ever-living crap out of these and always have them running all the time. I can put them on right now, bam, got all the raid loots running, and I can keep them running all the time, and I don't even notice that because I have so many of them. That's once again something that happens after maybe like a few months of playtime. Yeah, I wasn't kidding when I said this game has a lot of stuff to it, because we've not even talked about half the content. Like, you're not even halfway through the content. Anyway, so that's this at least. You also get daily rewards in here, which for each consecutive login you get better rewards. And if you've got the day 7 rewards, the rewards repeat from day 1, so you can always get these rewards every week. Incredible. You can also, these are normal odd deals. Yeah, you can buy raid loots, which you can see it gives you raid points and also gives you raid loots. There's going to be some point in the game where buying these with red gems is actually fairly nice. And oh, I need to get to the white crystal at some point later. Oh my god, we haven't even gone through so much. Okay, well, we've got the raid loots, we've got the abilities, we have the champions. We also each mode also has a specific bonus to it. In the mana mode, it's the idle profits, which just gives you once again a modifier if you haven't clicked the stone. In rage mode, it's just a multiplier on the stuff you get from clicking the stone, and in energy mode you get a multiplier on your energy regeneration, which you need for energy mode. You also have crits. I've gone over that. Raid points increase your stuff. What else is there? All of this stuff, these researchers, they scale infinitely, so yeah, that's a thing. You're also gonna find at some point upgrades that increase whatever it is your mode does. Like if you play mana mode, you're gonna get upgrades for your mana stuff, rage mode, rage stuff, and so on as well. You also get a summary for all the stuff you've upgraded. Oh my god, look at all that stuff. So something to note is also that these upgrades in here, you will stumble across updates like this, like Merchant's Guild Profits plus 9,900%. It's not actually plus 9,000. It's not additive. It's multiplicative. So let's say my modifier right now, you can see is for the Merchant's Guild is 1.6 billion percentage. If I get this upgrade, it's gonna be 1.6 billion percentage times 99. So it's gonna be like trillions of profits. So because these modifiers are actually multiplicative, there are gonna be some special upgrades. I can see most of these like 20, 30, 50 and so on. But there's gonna be like special ones like plus 9,909%. What these upgrades want you to do is they pretty much force you to switch to a specific building as like your main building. So right now my main building, which generates 96% of my profit, is the sawmill. But once I get this upgrade, this one might become my most valuable building. And there's actually an important reason why you need to be aware of what your current most important building is, and it switches all the time what your current most important building is, because you have these skills in here. So at some point you will unlock this level system, and what the level system does is the more profit you get experience points, and with experience point you level up, and if you level up you get skill points, and you put those skill points into skills. It really doesn't matter which you put in, but you mostly want to max your favorite building effect. So you can select a favorite building, and then if you have a favorite building thing selected, it boosts all your stuff. It boosts all your profit for that building, so you always want to make sure that whatever your current most important building is, you favorite that building, put stuff in here, and then you're going to be really great. The other stuff doesn't really matter too much. You can go nuts with whatever you want, just like these. You can also say if you want to generate more gold or more knowledge. Also doesn't really matter too much. What else is there? There's been an update recently that adds pets. Pets is another thing that's like its whole own system. Basically, with your pet, you cook food, which takes a certain amount of time. You don't actually need resources for that. You just press the button, and then when the timer is over, you just get the food. Then you feed them the food, and they level up. You can also brew potions, which works exactly the same as cooking. You just click a button, and then after some time, you get the stuff. If you want to, you can buy food directly with gems, and you can also upgrade your various stats. Now you start off with just 3 stats, I think, and then once your pet evolves, which it evolves by just getting higher levels and higher levels all the time, then it's going to evolve and it's going to get new abilities, and these new abilities can also upgrade them. And you upgrade them with battle points, which you get from battling. Oh my god, you can battle in here. Oh, my pet is very weak, it can't really battle. Now one thing to notice about these pet battles is, why would you want to do stuff like that? Well, because the more stuff you kill, the better stuff you get. You get diamond value, you get critical profits, and the more stuff you kill, you're gonna unlock more modifiers, and these modifiers are gonna in turn go higher and higher. So once again, more profits. Whoa! You see, I was joking when I said everything in this game is just more profits, like on modifiers. These modifiers aren't additive, by the way. All of these modifiers that you've seen so far are multiplicative. So if right now I would get these critical profits up to like plus 100%, I think it would actually like double my critical profits. At least I think so. The game is not actually communicating that stuff that well, but I'm fairly certain that's what it is. Anyway, so in battle you can use your potions, and something to notice is it doesn't matter if you die. If your pet dies, nothing happens. You just back out, everything's fine again. And if you use potions and you still can't kill the guy, you can just back out and all the potions get refunded. Oh, isn't that nice? So it's fairly user-friendly, apart from the fact that you have to cook so much food all the time. Okay, what else do we have? Now, at some point in the game, you're gonna unlock a hero. I think it's this one? I think it's this one. Where you're gonna unlock something called special events. Now, special events is something that's different depending on when you play. Right now, we have the beer festival. And the beer festival takes beers, which is what I haven't clicked the entire time. If you've been wondering what that beer symbol was the entire time. Yeah, that's something that you get additionally to your blue stones. Oh, turn those in, nice. And those objects are used for the current special event right now, Beer Festival. Pretty much every single festival is the same. You click on these things that you get from back in here, like the 5 beers I just clicked on. You turn in those objects for some sort of currency, and then you use that currency to basically play a slot machine. That's pretty much all you do. In this case, like the ticket market, you do 95 beers for 5 tickets, and then with 5 tickets you get to shuffle this card deck. So when you shuffle the card deck, you get 6 cards in between these very derpy drawn ladies. I don't know what happened there. And they look like they're copy-pasted from somewhere else. I don't know. Anyway, so you get like these different cards, and then you select one card, and all of these cards, you're not gonna see what's under them. Just when you click them, they get flipped over, and then you see what you picked. So it's all completely random. And you're basically, you get some random stuff like points, which just gets you more stuff. Like, look at that, you get some blue stones, you get Rave Loot, you get this orb, and orb is yet just another thing that just gives you profits. Like, if there's anything that I haven't explained that you've seen, like there's something on the screen and you're wondering, oh, I wonder what this does. He didn't explain it. It's probably just something that gives you another modifier for your profits, okay? Anyway, so within these cards you get some random stuff, and you also get some... Look, Firework, what are you doing? Anyway, you also get either these crystals, and if you get 5 crystals, you can't get a duplicate crystal, by the way, you get an ancient artifact, or you have a chance of randomly getting the ancient artifact. The ancient artifact just gives you, once again, modifiers! Whoa, modifiers, isn't that great? Oh, look at all these ancient artifacts I have, isn't that cool? They just all give you modifiers. Something to note is, now I'm not quite sure, and if the developer is watching, they might get really mad at me, or they might start laughing at me, because there is a chance of just outright getting the ancient artifact from one of these cards and not having to worry about the crystals, but it hasn't happened to me. I've played the game for multiple months, and I've turned over a shit ton of cards, and there was an event before this that I've also played for like the entire event duration, and let's say I've seen the ancient artifact pop up on an option about 60 times so far. I haven't counted, but around 60 times. And every single time the ancient artifact has popped up, it was right next to my card. Like either to the left or the right. Every single time, 60 times in a row. And I'm wondering if that is rigged. I'm wondering if that is rigged, that it shows you the ancient artifact always when it spawns right next to your card, being like, oh, look at that, you could have got the ancient artifact but you never gotten it. Oh, time to pay more money, because yes, you can get these tickets by paying money as well. Even you can get a ton of money. Like, look at that, 195 tickets. That's a lot for 100 bucks. Anyway, you can buy these tickets as well, and there's usually a sale for them as well. So you can buy these tickets, and yeah, I don't know. It feels a bit rigged. And the thing is, sometimes I change which card I pick. Like, for example, I'm going to do 100 tickets on just this card. Like I said, I've also done something similar with the event before that, in case someone wonders. And yeah, so I've picked the same card, like usually like 100 or even 500 times sometimes in a row, and then I switch to another one, like the one above it, and still exactly the same happens. Every single time, ancient artifact spawns directly next to whatever it was I picked. Very weird, very weird. Maybe rigged. I mean, if it happens 70 times in a row, what are the chances that 70 times in a row it spawns right next to what I picked? Huh. Maybe it's rigged, maybe I've just gotten extremely unlucky. I don't know. I don't have any evidence unless I look into the code, so I don't know. I'm just gonna throw that out there in case other people that watch this video see something similar, because I might have been onto something, I might not be, I don't know. Okay, what else do we have? Oh yeah, every 25 levels you get for all of these buildings, you trigger a goal, and basically it gives you more profit. For example, right now I have 2,850 level in my sawmill. If I get 2,875, I get profit times 1.5. Oh, interesting. And there's an additional goal for getting all buildings on a specific levels, and those goals usually give you even more profit than the other modifiers, as you can see. Oh, isn't that nice? Okay. Now you think, oh my god, it's going on for like such a long time. Maybe like 20, I don't even know, maybe like 20 minutes, we're already into this video. How much more could there possibly be? Well, let me click this button right here and open up a completely new screen with a ton of stuff on it. So, at some point, way later into the game, you're gonna unlock something called the Mideum. And in the Mideum, or I don't even know how to pronounce it, I don't even know if it's a real word. Basically, there's more stuff to upgrade for modifiers. Wow. So first off, you're gonna see that every single building that is up here also appears in the Mideum, and these are basically ways for you to permanently put an upgrade on specific buildings that persist through resets. Oh, I haven't mentioned this, but when you reset, pretty much only your buildings reset, and you just get the blessed diamonds on here. Nothing else really resets. Oh yeah, and your upgrades down here, but you get them back really fast, so it doesn't really matter. Nothing else is lost on resets as far as I know. I've forgotten something. Anyway, so you can upgrade all of your buildings, and then you're gonna see that there's new buildings that you haven't seen outside. Like for example, the university, which gives you knowledge, the Hall of Champions, which gives you max gold, in which gives you, which increases your energy mode stuff, and so on. So you can upgrade all a bunch of stuff. All of these upgrades, they cost money, and they also cost raid loot. And it's gonna be a point in the game where you're gonna have to upgrade these a ton, all the time. You're gonna upgrade these so much all the time. And it's gonna cost quite a lot of raid loots, and at that point is usually the point where you go and spend all your red gems on epic chests for raid loots, because you're gonna need all of those raid loots in order to upgrade all that stuff. Anyway, so you upgrade all of that, and what you're also gonna unlock is the void crystals. So in your raids, at some point, you're gonna be able to unlock void crystals, and void crystals, you just get them from raids. Like every time you do a raid, you get void crystals, and you can also buy void crystals from the gem store. So for gems, you can buy void crystals as well. What you do with void crystals, you can turn in void crystals in order to get legendary items, which cost more and more for each new legendary item. So you just get all these items, but once again, look at that, we got more multipliers, yay. So you get all these multipliers, and at some point you're gonna get the void effect item unlocked, and then you get another void effect item. And basically, what the void effect does is, for each void crystal you get, or you have rather, you get a modifier. Again, who would have guessed? It's a modifier. Woo! Also something to notice, once you've gotten all the legendary items, you don't need to spend void crystals anymore. You just collect them at that point. So at that point you just get more void crystals, and then you unlock the void effect, which is, once again, you put more modifiers on the void effect to get an even higher modifier. Look how big this modifier is. Isn't that incredible? Anyway, I think we actually are getting close to the end. Let me see if I missed anything. So we got the champions, which also, by the way, make your pet a bit stronger as well each time. Isn't that great? I've gone over there, I've gone over there, I've got there's so much. I should have almost written down how much stuff there is. By the way, you can save your backup online on the clouds. You don't have to worry about that. We got the university, we got that. I think we're about done. But even though I've played this game for such a long time, there's still something I haven't unlocked. And it's the War Outpost. The War Outpost requires 1 quintillion diamonds, which apparently makes you go on a campaign to generate or recruit soldiers and then conquer some stuff. But I haven't even been there. I think I played this game for like, what, 4 or 5 months? Like every day? And I still haven't unlocked it, even though I'm fairly close to it. I'm like at 7 quadrillion, so I'm really close to it. But I still haven't been there. Oh my god! How is this even possible? Anyway, oh, by the way, in case you are wondering, like, if you know about the game, you've played it before, and you are a bit confused why I said that the mana mode is the only mode that doesn't play itself, it's because of the raid buffs from the raid items. So the raid items, they just gives you a bunch of buffs, but the thing is, these effects down here, you can't have them on permanently. There's gonna be a cooldown, and there's gonna be, like, as you see, my mana is not pre-charged. So right now, I'm gonna have to manually use the spell, and I'm gonna use another spell as well to get the maximum out of this as possible. So if you want to get the maximum out of energy mode, you're gonna have to play a bit more actively and micro those skills a bit. With the other 2 skills, you don't have to worry about that. You can always just hit all your raid loots, let your raid loots run, and no problem. Oh, look at this. This thing is lighting up. You know what that means? If this thing is lighting up, then it's actually, you don't know what that means. If it lights up, it means that if you reclaim your diamonds right now and reset, you are more than doubling whatever current diamond amount you have. So that's what it tells you. It basically says reset now and you double your amount. Oh, isn't that great? Anyway, it's been a really long time, but I think we finally managed to get there. So what is my verdict? My verdict on this game is the fact that I've played this game for so long and I didn't get bored is a pretty good sign. It's a pretty good sign. At the same time, do you know how much time I've wasted playing an idle game? Oh my god. at least what I'm doing nowadays is I'm usually just checking in for like a minute every day. So I'm not actually spending that much time on it. For like a minute a day, that's not really anything. I'm just checking in, doing like some research or whatever, and doing stuff for my pet, sending some raids out, and then I close the game again for the next day or something. So yeah, what I would say is this is a game that can very easily cost you a lot of time, and but what you will find is that if you want to go in for the long haul, there's gonna be a ton of stuff here, and it's gonna be repeatedly more stuff all the time. All the time, it's gonna be something new around the corner. Or it's gonna be like, hey, if you just play for like 2 more days, you're gonna unlock something new. Oh, unlock something new, go ahead, do it. All the time. It really wants you to unlock stuff. So, yeah, would I actually give you the recommendation? I'm a bit torn because, like I said, it's a good game. I've played for a long time. It does actually the stuff that it does really well. It's a good idle game, but do I really want to recommend a game that could very easily eat a ton of your time? Because really, I should, even though I'm like reviewing idle games, I shouldn't be encouraging you to do stuff that might not be very productive otherwise, you know? A lot of people say, like, idle games, what are you doing? Do something productive instead. And I usually agree. Like, I play idle games very sparingly. Even though I play a lot of them, I usually don't spend much time with them. I usually like check in for a few minutes every now and then on like 1 or 2 idle games a day, so I don't actually spend that much time on him. But I don't want to recommend you putting that much time into something, which is why I don't quite want to give this game the recommendation for you to go ahead and go out and play it. But if you think that you're either resilient to like getting lost in something, or you either don't care being idle for an entire day, or spending that much time in it, I don't know. And go ahead. You can't do much better than this. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So yeah, that was that. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm totally pooped out right now. So yeah, that was that. Like, comment, favorite, and subscribe. Blark. See you guys next time.